Good morning, everybody. Wellness Saturday. Woo! And we are here on a nice summer Saturday. I am in Fort Erie, Canada, your host for today, Claudia Borges. And again, with me, a wonderful and amazing presenter that has been with us once, and we hope to have many times. Our friend Martin Kogia is a teacher. He's a teacher in New York. He's going to tell us a little bit more about himself. So I just want to make sure that all of you feel welcome to ask some questions at the end. We're going to be giving you a really important topic, which is the cost of a sedentary life. I want to greet some of our friends and then pass it to Martin to let us know what he's up to over there in New York. But first, let me say hello to Faye. Hello, Faye. We greet you here from my Faye is in Singapore. She just invited me. I can go to Singapore and she will host me. So I definitely want to do that. Dr. Ramunda Ings is in the house, and I know she's traveling. So thank you for joining us. And I think she's in North Carolina now. Adriana from Florida. Alice is in Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. Claudia is in New Hampshire, I think. I'm not sure, or Miami. I don't know where she is right now. Martha is in Canada, Mississauga, Ontario, JT, New Jersey. So everybody, we are like a, a world in one Zoom. So Martin, how about you, my friend? It's so good to see you again. Martin, how's your Saturday morning going?
It's been excellent. No complaints. So far, so good. Very pleased to be here.
Ah, that's excellent, Martin. Okay, so we chose a topic that is a very important, which is the cost of a sedentary life. So we're going to be talking a little bit about take it in four parts. The first part we're going to talk about is what does the recent science says about the cost of that sedentary life. Then we're going to be talking about um, some we're going to be talking about some real life experiences. We're going to be giving some examples. And to end, we're going to be giving you some solutions, some tips. So let's start with Martin. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, I already am your fan, but I want more people to understand why you're doing what you're doing.
All right. Thank you. Pleased to be here. I know that I'm amongst family every single time I'm with For Life folks. So I'm extraordinarily pleased to be here. Like Claudia said, guys, my name is Martin. Last name is Kodia. I was born in Ghana. I was raised in the Bronx. So for much of my life, I've been a New Yorker, for good or for bad. I don't know. I'm a school teacher by trade. I'm also very passionate about fitness, nutrition, things of that nature. And I'm a coach. I coach very busy folks how to stay fit and how to eat the proper, consume proper nutrients, even amidst their very busy schedule. Claudia, to your question, the costs associated with a busy life, or rather being sedentary. Um, I tend to be informed by science, okay? And science, with everything with scientific research, it takes decades to build momentum. So let's say if a scientific idea, a scientific discovery comes up in the fitness world, it's going to take us some time, decades, as I mentioned, in order for the idea to really stick. So a lot of understanding of exercise science is the holdover from decades prior. Okay, there was a study done that came out in the 50s that said that we needed 30 minutes of exercise daily in order to be healthy. Well, the recent study that's coming out is showing us that that's not enough to be healthy, right? So think of that 30-minute daily workout as a floor as opposed to a ceiling. Is the absolute bare minimum. And for most folks, that's not even enough. You need to get movement spread out throughout your day, especially if you're somebody who works, in an industry or a job that doesn't require much movement to begin with.
Well, that's actually coming also as a surprise to me because 30 minutes daily, it's already, I think, and I have to make a better effort, but I hope that people here are, I'm not going to be the only one, already putting 30 minutes daily into my already busy schedule is already a big task. So a lot of the times we heard 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day. So people sometimes drop what they're doing and they'll do a little walk. So 30 minutes a day is not enough. That's a little scary, Martin. I mean, excitingly scary, I should say. So what what are and I know we're gonna do that at the end, but here's the thing. I'm surprised. Who else is surprised? I want to see some people in the chat saying, wow, I had no idea that 30 minutes a day wasn't enough. So tell me in the chat what you're thinking. Alice is saying yes. Write me in the chat your thoughts about that so we can take this conversation that way. But that's incredible. 30 minutes a day is not enough. So what are our options? What are we going to be doing? What is the cost of that not taking care of that minimum bear of 30 minutes, and how much time is actually the correct time so we can bank on more years? Like, we're talking about longevity, we're talking about we want to be healthy. How much does our body need, Martin?
That's an excellent question. So the way that we're designed to constantly be on the move. Remember that, let's take our existence as a species. For an illustration, let's say that it's let's illustrate a pie. Think of a pie, right? A pizza pie. The period in our human existence where we're, living in comfort, we're living in reasonable accommodations. And by that, I mean, you're able to walk to your fridge for a meal. That is the thinnest of the slice in terms of our ability to live in this world that we're currently living in. We didn't get here until, let's say, the industrial age, right? Much of our past, our evolutionary past, we were constantly on the move. And we needed to do that as a means to survive. We needed to be able to move in order to get prey, to consume, to eat, to survive. We also needed to be able to move to not become dinner, right? By the saber-toothed tiger and whatever else is lurking out there. So yeah, we have to be on the move. Now, some of the causes are, cardiovascular disease, okay, high blood pressure, obesity, and being insensitive to insulin. In other words, diabetes. These are common conditions that afflict a lot of people. And interestingly, most of these folks are in the quote unquote developed world, the places where industrialization has taken the most root.
Wow, and I see that Faye is actually telling us that she does exercise for 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. So woo, big applause for Faye. So is I understand what you're saying because it happened even not only evolutionary from hundreds and thousands of years. So even through what just happened through the pandemic, a lot of people were more active. They were taking the bus. Let's look at it more recent. Yes, evolution kind of made us stay in our cubicles and our offices. But now, even through the post-pandemic era, people started making their homes an office. So now we live back in like a cave. And so we get everything in our home. We have fast food service coming to our house. We can order anything. Everything comes to us. Everything, like, we don't have to go. We can live in our little castles. And so what do we do? Where do we put exercise? Like how much is 1 hour a day enough? Like Faye is saying, 5 days a week. And what can we expect from, one thing is us, and I know you're an educator of youth and children. So, and where are we going in what is the trend? Because our kids play less and less. Our kids play sports less and less. What's the trend?
Yeah, well, that's a really good question. I think those of us in the fitness space, I think it's incumbent upon us because the medical industry is not going to do it because after all, they have an incentive to have more people funnel through the pipeline to get care, and care for the medical industry means more people with, incidences of the issues that I covered, right? The chronic conditions. It's incumbent upon parents, teachers, coaches, right, to inform folks that, okay, I'm really proud to hear that you work out 30 days daily. That's not enough. Okay, every few hours, you should get some movement in. Okay, every few hours, you can, go for a walk, right? Go for a quick run. Do some plank, do some air squats, do some jumping jacks, right? Whatever your state, whatever your condition, movement ought to be the order of the day in order to offset or to blunt the possibility of some of the chronic conditions that I mentioned. So it ought to be a lifestyle. It ought to be a change in mindset more so than deciding I'm just gonna work out for 30 minutes or whatever daily, and somehow that's supposed to be enough. The research shows that it's not enough.
That's very interesting. And I think that you have given us so much value with that, which is let's not focus. A lot of us want to focus on what people are saying. Oh, it's healthy to be doing some kind of exercise, but you're right. The numbers don't lie. We go to the doctor, high blood pressure is out of control, diabetes is out of control, obesity out of control. So it's not about, oh, this is what people say anymore, or I want to look good and fit into really, nice clothes. It really is the pandemic of chronic conditions increasing not only in adults but also in children, because we never used to have so many children with diabetes, and now there's so many children with diabetes type 2. This is simply bad eating habits plus not enough exercise. So the combination of these two time bombs, it really is what's causing child obesity, and then so we now have a new generation of sick children, sick youth, and sick adults. So that's an incredible topic.
Absolutely. And I think to your point, Claudia, school districts, public officials, policymakers ought to take heed in the direction that we're headed. If the whole purpose of, being part of a complex social structure like we're currently living in modernity is to improve our overall quality of life, well, then guess what? We're headed in a completely opposite direction, right? The direction that we're headed in is not likely to give us the things that we're looking to we're working towards.
Wow, that's amazing. And because you are in that school system, that's why I touched child health and wellness, because we probably are all here parents or at least grandparents. And so we want to make sure that what we did, we can reverse it and align it back to that great purpose that God has for us and that He created us to be. And so the second part we talked about, Martin, was giving some examples of real life experiences. So and if anybody has a question, I think, or a comment, this would be also a good part to start bringing in our audience. JT can help me with mics. Does anybody have a comment, a life experience, something they want to share about what happened because they were living a sedentary life? Because ladies and gentlemen, this is not all about you. Like, the cost of sedentary life is about how much does it cost your husband, your wife, your children when you get sick. Like, this is not just, it's selfish to think that not exercising, not being active, and continue eating and having those habits, that's not going to catch up to you. it's going to catch up and it's going to hurt families and it's going to hurt finances. It's going to hurt, that dream vacation that you had. Now you can't because, you're sick, or that dream house that you can't because you have all these medical bills. So it's a big deal that we want to open eyes out there today. So can somebody comment on this topic? Any raise hands or any comments in the chat? Wow, we got a quiet live audience today, Martin. So
I think the audience is a bit shy. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're a little bit shy today. So let's you and I touch on one example or one case study that you have on the cost of sedentary life.
Yeah, so I'm obviously always working with professionals. In fact, I invite those of you that are watching, join the men. Women are obviously welcome. My goal is to invite more gentlemen, to leaders of families, obviously, to make being healthy a lifestyle. And I believe that once they're making that a part and parcel of their lives, the rest of the family is going to follow suit. I've began a Facebook group, Solutions for Busy Professional Men, Fitness Solutions for Busy Professional Men. I invite you all to send your husbands and boyfriends and whatnot. I'm currently working with a gentleman who is, like myself, an educator, and he was not, even though he had a gym membership, somehow this gentleman was still overweight. I've been working with him for the past couple months. He's improved his fitness, his overall physique. He's much slimmer. He moves a lot better, clearer thinking head. There's not that, brain fog that typically afflicts people, especially around the midday, afternoon areas, because he's improved his nutrition. He's moving a lot more. So he's managed to make being fit, getting a lot of movement part and parcel of his life. And I think that should be the goal for a lot of us, if not all of us. Just make being active, constantly moving, a lifestyle.
I love that example. I would like to talk a little bit, like we were preparing our talk, and I was telling you that one of the things that I wanted to incorporate in my life was to do some workout. And I have a very, very disciplined husband. We have a gym at home. We have a rowing machine. We have 2 spinning bikes, and I simply can't get myself to start exercising. It doesn't happen. He's like, oh, I don't understand why I can't be an influence to my family. So I'm sure that people like you, Martin, sometimes you feel like that too. You're like, why can't I be my influence to my closer people? But I'm proud to say that thanks to my friends, I think you have to find what moves you. And so Alice has her hand up. I'm not sure if it was still up from before or she wants to talk, but she can write me on the chat. So I decided after our detox, we did a 21-day detox with Dr. Ronnie, and I said, I really want to get that the exercise routine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recruit a few friends. I'm going to sign up to the gym, even though I have one at home. But because for me, it's easier to do a little jog. And my husband's like, why can't you just jog around the block? It's free. And I'm like, I have no idea. So my advice to, women and men out there is find what moves you. And so I signed up to the gym, which a lot of people say, oh, it's going to be a waste of money. You know what? Still sign up. There's a lot of cheap gyms out there. They're 24 hours now. They're very popular. And recruit a few friends. So I recruited 2 of my friends that have been wanting to get fit. And now we actually made a WhatsApp group, and we call each other. We're like, hey, who's ready to go? And if they don't go, our commitment is we're still going, even if the other ones are not going. And so my husband says, oh, I see. What moves you is the social part. Like you want to be with more people, like you can't be at home. And so my advice is get out there and find what moves you. We have a comment from Alice, which is great. Alice, you have the mic.
Thank you. Well, it's kind of like a combination, maybe comment, confirmation even, because Thank you again for mentioning that I'm on Martha's Vineyard, and I'm in a very beautiful place, and I walk most of the time to and from work. And I think that's enough. Sometimes I'm like, I don't even break a sweat. Okay. I just walk kind of like a stroll.
Alice, you went off mic. What happened? Turn on your mic again. You can't? Okay. We silenced her somehow, JT. Something happened. I didn't touch it. Let's see. Alice.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Working on it.
Has to unmute. There we go. Oh, try it again. If it's
There
easier,
we
I'll
go.
just.
It just muted me all of a sudden. Well, not a coincidence, because probably what I'm going to speak has a lot of power. And one of the things too that I feel, I'm really glad to find out that half an hour is not enough. And I will step it up for sure. It takes me half an hour walking to get to work, and then half an hour back later in the day, but not continuously, right? But what about our emotions? Sometimes I've read things that say, when you feel depressed or you feel sad or you feel anxiety, go for a walk, move. So physically, yes, it helps us to lose weight. It helps your heart, helps a lot of things. But being not just here, what I've been doing for the past 10 years is helping people emotionally, spiritually, with their thoughts and their mental health. So I can see how walking, exercising, any form of exercising, I want to buy a jump rope, and I also would like to have a rebounder. So anything that produces movement obviously helps our body. But I would like to know if the doctor can, or our teacher, our guest, can elaborate on how it helps us mentally and emotionally.
Wow, that is a phenomenal question. I appreciate you for that. So there are brain boosting chemicals that are directly associated with movement. Norepinephrine, serotonin, dopamine. Okay, I'm forgetting one more. Maybe I should go for a jog or something to help me recall it. But yes, there's so many. Okay, and these are chemicals that pretty much tell us you should be doing more of this. Okay, you should be doing more of this, and perhaps less of being sedentary. So every time we're in motion, think of the runner's high that you get at the end of a really really intense running exercise, or biking, or swimming, or anything that gets the blood flowing. Right, it gets these chemicals moving, and we feel good as a result. So a lot of folks might be under the impression that maybe they're depressed. What they're probably missing is intense physical activity.
Beautiful. So thank you for that confirmation, because I've been giving that as a recipe or as a suggestion or invitation to a lot of my students, but then, I don't have time. And just like even Claudia said in the beginning, how do we fit, barely half an hour and to do more than half an hour? But even gardening is a movement, right? You got to squat a lot and, bend down or just move your upper body when you're digging and raking, just movement alone. So sometimes if people are, that some of my students who have suffered from any kind of depression or mental or emotional issues, I tell them, what is it that you like to do? Because sometimes, of course, if we say go exercise, it's boring, right? I don't want to go do it. People who love nature, go for a walk, go bird watching. But once you're out there, the sun and seeing nature, well, for me anyway, that I love seeing all the green, that really helps. So thank you for that confirmation. Now I know that it wasn't just something, obviously, right, for the physical. It brings out that great feeling when you move. Thank you so much.
I think our next talk, and I think this topic is opening for our next conversation, Martin, I don't know if you agree, because the other thing that is very interesting with what Alice said, we have like two topics starting, which I love, which one is the happy hormones. So the release of happy hormones, which, yes, Alice is right, things that you love, being with people that you love. But I think that we would be working out more our conversation. We're still in this conversation. Today, we're just talking about the cost of sedentary life. But what Alice is talking about, gardening, um, we have to analyze what gardening is for people. People are like, oh, but I garden for 30 minutes or I garden for 2 hours. Well, if you're gardening, but you don't get, and now not Michael, sorry, Martin was talking about that runner's hype, or, I wrote down the words, or blood flowing. What happens is that you need to actually get your heart rate at a certain level for the release of the endomorphin, I forgot the word, the endorphins
Dolphin.
to release and actually cause the effect that we're looking for, Alice. So what people sometimes don't understand is that there's two types, and I think that Martin will do this better with his knowledge, is that being active for a lot of people is one thing, and really being active means another thing when you're talking medically, which is we need to get that heart rate up, we need to break sweat, and your heart is a muscle, so your heart is the one that needs to pump up so much that it gets the release, and it gets that blood flowing, and it gets that hype, and it gets that, oh, the body is now in the state that it needs to be. So a lot of the times we don't reach that peak, and it has to do a lot with personal choices of what you're doing. So walking in nature, those will release some, and some endorphins. There's several that he mentioned. And then there's the other ones that are only released through cardio or high intensity interval exercise, which I guess that could be our next talk, Martin, because a lot of people do not understand this, which is cleaning the house. That's an activity that your body will burn some calories. But active walking or jogging or biking will be on the other level. And so, yes, we can do active like vacuuming and cleaning and everything and break a sweat doing the cleaning, but some people won't. And so that body still needs to reach that peak that Martin's talking about. So it's a beautiful, beautiful topic. Martin, so what do you think about that?
Oh, 1000%. In fact, I want to revisit very quickly something that you mentioned earlier, Claudia. That is when you decided, despite being, reasonably active, to join a gym, to become a member of a gym. Here's why that's so important, okay? We evolved as part of communities. We didn't evolve as a species in silos. So when we form communities, when we form bonds with other people, we tend to go a little bit further, right? So imagine being part of a community where you hold other people accountable. Hey, you call up one of your friends. Remember we said we were going to go work out for 30 minutes today? You'd be holding them accountable. And then alternatively, they'd be holding you accountable. Hey, remember we said we were going to do this, 30-day cleanse. Let's try to stick to it, right? When we want to go far, we're best, it's in our interest to go together, okay? So when we join and build communities with other people, like-minded people, we tend to do well than when we do things on our own. So I want to say that to commend you on your decision to join the gym. And I think a lot more folks should consider gym membership.
I love that. And one of the things that Martin taught us from like the talk we had before, I know some of you didn't meet him, but we have it in YouTube, so we can always go back. Was that I love when he said that, his heart and his life purpose is to educate man. And I have a young man with me, so to educate men on health and on how really their body should look. Body image and body composition are different things, but what do, again, as a mom of a 12-year-old, and this is why I value so much Martin's teachings and education, is like, what one thing is what we think, one another thing is what society says, and another thing is what the reality is. So if we have people like Martin educating us on what our great purpose and how our bodies really should look, how our health should really be, then that's the education that we want to bring to people, which is like, yes, there is that fine balance, which I want to see how it feels. I want to feel good. I want to look good. And I also want to be healthy. And when you reach that balance, this is when Martin comes in. JT has already been putting some of his Instagram and Facebook pages. Please make sure that you follow and like. There's a lot of value on what Martin does for free in his Instagram. He does little videos that are doing tips that you can share with others. So, you know, his heart is education and teaching and sharing. And absolutely, yes, he is also a personal trainer, virtual coach. You know, he has a lot to offer. So I want to jump into that last part we talked about, which is ideas for solutions. You know, we're going to talk a few tips, some solutions, and we're going to finish with a homework that everybody can do. You may have already done it, but if you haven't, for those of you that are watching our video later on, we have a gift for you. So let's talk about tips. Martin already gives a lot of tips, but let's talk about the tips for today. What do we do today, Martin?
All right. So tips obviously are gonna be.
Martin, before you start, I think Alice
Sure.
raised her hand again. So that was not the previous hand. I just saw the hand always raised. And so it might be in the same topic. Alice, you're welcome to do as many comments. We like our audience talking. I just didn't know it was a new hand. I thought it was the old hand. Bring it up and then bring it down so I know it's not new.
No worries. Yeah, I had gone down and I had put it back up, and I didn't mean to
No,
interject.
please.
Giving his tips. I wanted to clarify something because I was being a bit selfish when I made my comment. The reason why I brought up about, you know, even gardening is because I tend to work with, I was thinking of my people that I know that I have had. When someone is sedentary, why, first and foremost, why do people choose that? First, you said maybe work. You work all day behind a computer. So sometimes you do want to go do it, but you don't have the time, right? You're working and then it doesn't happen. But I had in mind people that I work with in the present moment who suffer from different kinds of reasons why they're sedentary. So I'm glad that we're educating on how much is actually necessary on getting that heart rate up. That part, of course, the physical is going to make a difference. Like you said, I walk only 30 minutes. I don't even break a sweat. So obviously my heart rate doesn't really change, right? So it's just a walk. It's still movement, but it's not producing what we're talking about here, so that we aren't sedentary. So even if I walk, it's still semi-sedentary because I'm not breaking a sweat, right? So I was selfish. I wanted to clarify that I had my people in mind, and I'm trying to help them come out of that. Like you said, after COVID, a lot of people are used to just calling for their food now, calling for everything, their groceries. They don't even go grocery shopping anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So all these people are just kind of like hermits, if you will. And so I just wanted to clarify that. Not that I'm saying, oh yeah, just gardening is important, but at least if they start moving those endorphins, at least how do we get them out of the sedentary place? For you, Claudia, it worked to go to a gym. You have everything at home, and it just wasn't enticing. It didn't call your attention. And like when you have that community and you see that, hey, you know, I have my friends and they call me, because that's how we were. It's more important to be part of a community. So just wanted to clarify, I was being selfish by mentioning that. I wanted a response from my people to help them get out of the house. I actually had one student. I had one student who was in a walker. She's my age and she was using a walker already. And I said, no, how about if you do exercises, even sitting in your chair, just start moving your hands, start doing something. So even if we can at least help those that are sedentary, asking why that choice, if it's just time. You were smart enough, Claudia, to think, what do I like? I want to join a gym, even if people think I'm wasting my money. Why am I doing it? Because it fed something emotional for you. It helped you. So that's where I was. But thank you again for giving me a chance to speak.
I love it. Alice, I love that she calls herself selfish, because she's like the least selfish person that I know. But anyway, she wants to say, but you're touching on where Martin was going. So it was perfect that we allowed you to talk, because I have a few tips and you kind of touched on one, and I'm going to let Martin talk first and close up with some of my tips that I give my people. And then we have a gift for everybody. Martin.
All right. I appreciate that. So If you're, first of all, if you're anything like me, you kind of don't need the motivation. You're just eager to move, right? But unfortunately, most folks, they need that added sort of motivation to get them going. Well, you can wear one of these, a fitness tracker, okay, as I have on my hand. Apple Watch is pretty excellent. A Fitbit is also very effective. If that's not your cup of tea, just set an alarm that reminds you every couple of hours to move for some 15 to 30 minutes. Okay, you can manage it. If you're somebody who happens to live in a town where driving everywhere is the order of the day, consider parking your car significantly away, significantly with a significant distance from your ultimate destination, where you'll have the opportunity and the wherewithal to have to move, to walk. All right. There's all sorts of ways. If you happen to have a pet, well, consider walking your pet in between meetings. Consider getting a yoga mat, okay, and doing some planks, do some air squats, do some jumping jacks between meetings. Okay, there's always something that you can do to get your heart rate up, to get some movement in, and get the blood circulating.
I love it. And I know a lot of people are probably saying, I don't like to sweat while I'm at work, but you know what? You can always just bring another t-shirt. I suggest, I always tell people at work or at home, you, like Martin says, stop, do 3 active pauses. And Martin just told us, I have written down standing abs. A lot of people think that they have to do their abs on the floor, or we were taught to do them painfully. Our neck hurts, our back hurts. And this isn't a group that is 35 plus, 40 plus, right? We're not teaching like 17-year-old kids here. So you're already thinking, oh, you know what? He's talking about air squats and that's going to hurt. So you know what? If you can, that's where Alice kind of hit it on the spot. Google seniors workouts. I know you're not a senior, don't get offended. I'm not a senior, but I get injured a lot. My husband calls it the weekend syndrome, the weekend sportsman syndrome. If you're going to start, it's very, very better to start slow. People go like, oh yeah, I'm going to start working out, I'm going to do this. Then they go and do a lot on the first day or the first week or even the first month. Then it happens to me. I'm talking about my own experience. Then I injure my ankle, something starts hurting in my back, and it's because you do it for a bit, then you stop. Then a few months later, you do it for a bit, and the body, this is called I don't know it in English, but my husband calls it the sports person weekend syndrome. It is very bad. Do not do that. So it's better to start with a small workout. If you Google active senior workout, you'll get some nice workouts that are designed for seniors' bodies, meaning there's no high intensity activity for your knees. There's no high intensity activity of a lot of jumping, and which is where people go like, oh, I don't want to be jumping, right? So you start with that, and you can also Google standing abs, or I forgot the other one where low impact exercises. That's the word I'm looking for. So if you Google some of these workouts, you will find, and also start short. I always say start with 10 minutes, 10, 10, 10, or even 7 minutes. I love the 7-minute workout app. 7-minute workout app actually gives you 7-minute intervals of workouts. It's free, and you can actually go into 14 and then 21, which is a week. So if you do, 7, 14, 21, you also can say, okay, I'm going to work out for the next 7 days on different routines. And one should be actually a soft routine of stretches, and the other ones can be the other routines they have. They have lots of routines on that 7-minute app. There's a couple of 7-minute workout apps, but I like the green one. I can share it in our group. So if you have any questions, please, this is your time to get Martin those questions. And we're going to talk about a gift that Martin is giving his clients that is surprising, accessible, and a lot of people haven't done it. So Martin, let's talk about that gift we had.
All right, so I have an ebook absolutely for free. Okay, just reach me in the DMs, reach me, comment on any of my videos on whatever platform you happen to watch my content, and the ebook is yours. I basically break down for whatever fitness level you're at. You can be a beginner, you can be, a middle of the road person, or you can be elite level fitness enthusiast. And there's something in there for you. 5 reasons why your physique is the way that it is. There's always room for growth. And I've put together the 5 basic ideas that's preventing you from reaching the next level on your fitness journey. It comes in the form of a text and also videos that they're showing you what you're probably doing wrong and how to elevate, how to break through that barrier. I give very specific recommendations on how to move past those roadblocks. So, free ebook, comment or get in touch with me via the DMs, whatever platform you watch my content, and the ebook is all yours.
Yay! I knew everybody was going to be really excited. Kawinder has a question. JT, if you can help me take off Kawinder's mic. She has a question, and Alice has also a question that I'll read in a minute. Kawinder, JT can help me with Kawinder. We can also, yeah, there we go. Kawinder, you're ready to go.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good. I wake up and I done like already 2 things. I color my hair and go in my garden and pick up my vegetables. Martin, you are awesome. When you are talking, I miss half a topic because I get a call. When you are talking about drinking things, the first thing as an educator, if like we are the ones start from homes, water bottles. That's the first thing, like in our schools we done, like as a parents we need to come together with like educators. Even like on this platform we are educating. If we are not changing one habit at a time, I think it's like take a life to take everything for a lifestyle. You are doing a fabulous job. I admire always. Claudia is my sister now. Like we are like talking, we have to be start somewhere. At least did a good point. Like sometimes we wanna be help, but like we are not like know where to start. Even like a small thing, she said like 30 minutes she do walk, but like do a little bit hard, like then you're gonna be a sweat. The sweat is not come in the first day. Sweat take a time to come on sweating. And eating habits, like the first thing we need to like learn how to controlling the water add up is like a lot of matter. I working in a senior home. Your band exercise is an absolute exercise for doing 5-10 minutes, even like 5 times, like 3 steps. You start making sweating. It is work.
Yeah.
So many
Absolutely.
apps now these days free. So many YouTube videos are free. But like sometimes gym is like good, we get a membership, we think, but like sometimes if we start skipping, hard to get on track. We need to create a habit.
Yeah, having a gym membership that can unlock a lot of potential, a lot of power for a lot of folks. Imagine looking across the room and seeing somebody going hard. The competitive nature that lives in all of us. You're gonna be motivated to go just as hard, if not harder, right? And reap the benefits of that. So there's just so many incentives associated with having a gym membership.
Yes.
Kawinder was
Thank you.
another person that inspired me because she signed up to the gym like a year ago, and I could see her in social media posting. And Daniel Hernandez also wakes up at 4:30, and I'm like, I gotta get out, I gotta do something. So trust me that social media works. When you see your friends working out, you're like, I want to do that. Like I gotta get out there. I'm gonna close with Alice's question, but before I let Alice in that question, I also want to give you a second gift, which is make sure that you have done your health and wellness assessment in your For Life app. So if you're new or you're listening to this for the first time and you don't know what For Life is, please talk to the person that invited you to this talk. And the second thing is that person has a gift for you. If you, For Life affiliate, have not done it, this is going to be your homework. In fact, we want you to share it on the WhatsApp group that we have for English Official, because we want to start a movement. We want to start a trend where everybody really is doing what they say they're doing. So first homework, do the health assessment app for yourself, the health assessment form, health assessment for yourself. Second, share with 10 friends this week. Next week, we have the big Canadian event. So we're not doing Wellness Saturday, but you have 15 days to report how many of your friends are asking you more about what is the health and wellness assessment. And you're also going to invite them to the next Saturday Wellness Talk. That's going to be probably Dr. Munda and I. I'm going to book Martin for next month. We want some topics that maybe you want to hear about. Remember, go to Martin's pages. Martin is going to bring us the fitness and nutrition aspect. Dr. Ramunda is also bringing us the wellness aspect. I bring you the supplement aspect. So we're starting to form professionals that are going to bring education to you. Bring your guests, bring your topics. What do you want to learn about? And what topics do you think your guests want to hear about? And this is what we can do, Martin, Dr. Ramunda, and myself. And if you feel that you have something to say, tell me. I want to be brought into this Saturday Wellness Talk. Oh, I got to bring Alice with emotional wellness talk as well. So Alice, you have the last question. Go ahead. Oh, Mike, JT for Alice.
Yes, I wrote it there in the chat. I'm about to get on
yes.
to work.
I'll say it. I'll say it.
It's about,
Okay.
yeah, please.
So she says, can a person at an older age, so she's 58, can a person at that age still get toned and get muscle?
1000%. And I highly, highly recommend you do so at any age, ma'am, at any age. Okay, so for folks in the more advanced age, things like walking up the stairs, skip the elevator, walk up the stairs, park your car from a significant distance away from your destination to give yourself some room to walk. Okay, obviously be mindful of your nutrition. There's foods that support, being leaner, being more fit, and then forego the more processed kinds of foods. But yes, to your question, 1000%. You can get leaner, you can get more fit at any age.
Absolutely. I love it. Okay. So great talk today, Martin. Thank you. Please send them hearts, send them love. But you know how you can show him that you're thankful for the time that he had given us today to teach us? Go to his site, make sure that you like, and make sure that you ask for that free ebook that he's sending you. I can't wait to get mine so I can start reading and learning everything that Martin has to say. So thank you, Martin, for tonight. Not for tonight, sorry, it's Saturday morning. Thank you for today. And I'm sure that you guys are going to love seeing him. It's Faye's laughing in Singapore because it is night in Singapore. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to learn about how it is so important to get that body moving. So let's get moving. Thank you, Martin. And JT, can you open everybody's mic so they can cheer and applaud and clap and say, yes, Martin, thank you. Let's take mics off.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Thank you. Got it.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
everybody.
very much. Thank you, Martin, from Valencia, Spain.
I'm gonna be in touch. Please don't close the line.
Thank
yet. I
you.
have to. I'm
So we're not
driving.
who's
Thank
driving?
you.
Who wants to talk? Who is my lady in the galaxy with the yellow suit? Because I don't recognize her and I want to welcome her.
My name is Soledad. Sorry, Ana Cecilia invite me.
Ana Cecilia. Thank you, Ana Cecilia, for inviting Soledad. Nice to meet you, Soledad. See, when you have your mics on, cameras on, I know who's new. So thank you. Who is driving that says don't close the mic? Is it Ana Cecilia?
Ibelice.
I don't know.
It's Ibelice. It's
Ah,
Ibelice.
it's Ibelice. Okay, Ibelice, don't worry. Don't go in panic. What do you want to say? She's driving.
I wanna copy the link, but I'm driving, so I have
Oh,
to
don't
find a place
worry.
to stop.
No, it's okay. JT, can you please put everything on everything for today's talk will be in the official WhatsApp group, his pages, how to get the free book. All of that is going to be on the official Facebook,
So, Ivelisse,
official
quick
WhatsApp
question.
group.
Are you a member in the For Life
Yeah.
English official website WhatsApp group?
She is. So
Yes.
audience.
I'll be putting all the links there.
Audience out there, if you're
okay.
watching this and you're not part of the official English group for life, please ask the person that invited you. Soledad, make sure to ask Ana Cecilia to invite you into that official
Okay.
English group where we're going to be posting all of this and the YouTube when we upload it. Okay. Thank you
Yes,
very much,
Okay, thank
everybody.
you.
everyone can
Thank
feel free
you.
also
Bye.
to reach out to the person who
Thank you
invited
all.
so that
Yeah.
you can get the links and any information that they need.
And reach out to Martin. He's available. Ask him questions. That's what, like just reach out to him too. Make sure that you sign up in everything that he told you though. That way he has your information. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.
See you in 15
Bye-bye.
days.
Thank you.
See you in 2 Saturdays. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you,
JT, for your great
Bye.
work. Thank you, JT. Bye-bye, Martin.
Bye, Claudia.